Hi everybody, I'm Jameson from the Gaming Couch. Thank you very much for tuning in, and today I come to you with a simple question. What do you get if you mix Pokemon with Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, and then add some Animal Crossing to that, just for good measure? You get Ooblets. And now Ooblets is a game developed by a small indie studio called Glumberland, and it's available now on Xbox and PC via the Epic Game Store. So I played a little bit of the game and just wanted to go over a few key aspects and give my impressions of it. Of course, right off the bat, it's important to remember that this is an early access game, so it's still growing, it's still evolving, and this isn't a review in any way, shape, or form. It's just, first impressions, so that maybe if you're watching and you're on the fence about the game, you can see what it looks like and, have a better idea of how it plays. Now, at its core, Ooblets is essentially a life simulator, a life simulation. So you arrive empty-handed on the island of Oob, and you're given a decrepit farmhouse and your own little Ooblet. And Ooblets themselves are plant-like creatures, and they're a bunch of different species. They're all pretty cute looking, and I'm sure that many more will be added over time. And gameplay itself revolves around interacting with townsfolk, completing quests, farming, fixing up your shack, and of course, using your Ooblets to battle. So for the battles, think Pokémon, except that instead of biting, burning, drowning, or poisoning each other, Ooblets engage in dance battles. So the battles themselves are essentially card fights, and the system works very well. And if you played a game like Slay the Spire, you'll be comfortable with the concept. If you haven't, or you're unaccustomed to those types of games, what happens is when you get into a battle, you have a set amount of energy per turn, and in the game they call those beats, and you're dealt a hand of cards. So you have to activate a card to perform an action, and obviously the stronger the card is, the more points or the more energy it takes to activate it. And then the goal is to be the first one to reach a set number of points. So there's a layer of strategy to the battles, and they're fun. But I'll be honest on one thing, I don't know if this was an animation thing, or maybe it's just me that doesn't have an eye for these kinds of things, but I couldn't really tell the difference between a lot of the different dance moves in the game. Another thing is that battles aren't really straightforward to get into battles. I mean, think back to Pokemon, and I'll allow myself to compare a little bit here because the game obviously does take cues directly from Pokemon. But think back to Pokemon. If you want to battle, you just have to walk in tall grass, or you just have to, get into eye contact with another trainer, and then you're on your way. You're battling, right? In this game, if you do want to fight another Ooblet, you have to walk up to it, you have to talk to it, and then it will show you a list of items that it wants in exchange for the battle. So you can't just walk up to an Ooblet, get into a fight. You have to go and get those items for the Ooblet before you can even think about fighting them. Scripted battles, I believe, do away with that. But, anything that's not scripted, you'll have to go on a fetch quest. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that, because on the one hand, I do see how it can be fun in that it pushes the players to explore and to work towards getting the necessary items for the battle. But on the other hand, it kind of takes away the will to battle, especially when you have no clue how to get the items in question. And that's one thing that I've noticed, is that a lot of the stuff, you're not really given any sort of explanation how to get it. Do you need to get it from farming? Do you need to get it from battling? Do you need to get it from a shop? Do you get it from finishing a quest? Do you get it from the wishing well? It's not too clear. So at the end, when you do win a battle, you'll get a seed to plant, and that one will eventually spawn an Ooblet for your team. So that's how you collect Ooblets. You don't capture them after a battle. They just spit out a seed, and then you plant that, water it for a couple of days, and there you go, you've got a new Ooblet on your team. So the game also features a farming mechanic that's not unlike Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon. So you have your farmhouse, and you have a plot of land that's filled with debris like rocks or wood and weeds. You can take all the time you want, to clear up your land. But in my time playing, it only ever felt like I returned to the farm for sleeping and to plant or harvest an Ooblet. So I didn't really get too deep into the actual farming mechanic of planting seeds and getting, fruits and vegetables to come out. It seemed like it was an afterthought. For me, at least, it seemed like it was an afterthought. I did really enjoy, though, the game has a farm mode, I think it's called. It's something about a farm mode. And what that does is it projects a grid on the ground a short distance around you, and it adds a lot of precision to all the actions you can do. So like tilling the land or planting seeds or watering crops. And if you're anything like me and you've played Stardew Valley, like how many times have you screwed up the layout of your farm because, whoops, you tilled the wrong tile? Or how many times did you waste energy because you watered beside the plant? So this doesn't happen here because that farm mode adds a lot of precision, and I think it's a really, really cool mechanic. But that being said, farming is a part of the game, but it doesn't feel like a core mechanic. I feel like you could completely ignore that and you'd probably do okay. So really what I'll do is just wait and see how farming evolves with the game over time, because like I said, as of right now, all I really did was spend my time planting ooblets and then harvesting them. And the game also features an energy meter for your character, so performing certain actions will lower your energy until you eat a snack or you go to sleep, and that's pretty par for the course in a game like this. What's interesting is that the game does tell you how much energy an action will cost, so you can kind of gauge, if something's worth it or not at the moment. And as far as the town is concerned, it's laid out nicely, there are a lot of people to interact with, there's a lot of quests to complete. I find that the town looks really nice, it's colorful, I enjoyed exploring it, I enjoyed talking with the townsfolk. And, for an early access game, there is a lot to do right now in the game. There's also a lot to understand. A lot of the concepts aren't very well explained, if they're explained at all. And, you'll spend a lot of time scratching your head trying to understand how to get a certain item or where to go for a certain item. But with that being said, I can see how this could become a really chill game for people who just want to relax, wind down, after a long hard day at work, sit down with a game that they can complete at their own pace. It's definitely a game that encourages you to slow down and relax. A lot of the characters are really quirky, the dialogue can be amusing, and I'll admit it, I did get a good little chuckle from some parts. Obviously, as an early access title, not everything is available right now. It looks like there will be a hot air balloon at some point, and other areas will be coming over time, so, keep that in mind. Overall, the game is early access and it shows. That isn't a bad thing, but it's important to keep that in mind before making a purchase. I know a lot of people are talking about Ooblets online because the game does have its moments and the Ooblets themselves are cute, but this isn't a game for everyone. So if you've always wanted to have Pokémon in Stardew Valley or farming in Animal Crossing, then you'll probably get a kick out of Ooblets. But if you're looking for action, this definitely isn't it. And if you've tried games like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing in the past, but have given up on them quickly, Ooblets doesn't bring anything too new to the table except for the creature collection aspect. Now there's a free trial on the Microsoft Store right now, so I would advise using that opportunity to get a feel for the game before dropping $20 to $25 on it. If you're really interested and you want to see what it's all about, get some hands-on yourself, put some time into the game, definitely take a look at the Microsoft Store's free trial. So with that being said, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please do leave a like. If you didn't, go ahead and leave a dislike. That's fine too. And if you'd like to subscribe, that'd be very much appreciated. You'd be helping me out and you'd be making sure that you don't miss any more content. So, with all that behind us, I'm Jameson. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.